Imagine looking down at your legs and ankles, noticing they're puffed up, tender, and maybe even leaving a dent when you press on them. That's what swelling in the legs and ankles can feel like, and it's more common than you might think. In this journey together, you're going to uncover some health wisdom that could change the way you feel every day, starting with a simple vitamin and a few key minerals. Picture this as a friendly chat where you're handed the tools to take control, and along the way, if you find this helpful, don't hesitate to like, share, comment, and subscribe to keep the conversation going. Years ago, someone close to the person sharing this with you, let's call her Sarah, in her late 60s, used to struggle with this exact issue. She'd press her finger into her ankle, and it'd leave a little pit, like pressing into dough. It wasn't just her legs, her face was rounder than usual too, a clue that something deeper was going on. Maybe you've noticed something similar, your shoes feeling tight or your socks leaving deep marks by the end of the day. Sarah didn't feel old, but her body was sending signals, and it turns out, those signals were tied to a condition called edema. So, what's edema all about? It's the fancy term for when fluid builds up in your legs, ankles, or feet, making them swell. You might have heard it's linked to big stuff like heart, liver, or kidney trouble, or even too much salty food. But here's the thing. There's a much more common culprit, and it's something you can tackle without complicated meds or side effects. Think of it like this. Your body has millions of tiny pumps in your cells, working hard to move fluid around. When those pumps stall, fluid pools where it shouldn't, especially down in your lower legs. These little pumps, called sodium-potassium pumps, are like the unsung heroes of your body. They use a big chunk of your cell's energy, about 30 to 40%, to keep everything flowing smoothly. Picture a time when a basement pump failed at someone's house, say, a friend named Tom's place. One rainy spring, his basement ended up with a foot of water because the pump couldn't keep up. In your body, if those cellular pumps falter, you get that same pooling effect, fluid sitting outside the cells instead of inside where it belongs. That's what's happening when your ankles puff up. Now, why do these pumps stop working? It often comes down to sugar. Yes, the sweet stuff you enjoy in desserts or sneaky carbs like white bread. When sugar hangs out in your blood too long, it sticks to proteins like hemoglobin in a process called glycation. Imagine a protein bar with a gooey marshmallow glued to it. That's what happens in your bloodstream. This sticky mess doesn't just sit there. It gums up your circulation, slowing blood flow and letting fluid leak out where it shouldn't. Have you ever felt that heavy, sluggish feeling in your legs after a sugary treat? That's the connection. This glycation thing isn't a one-time deal either. Once sugar latches onto that protein, it's stuck there until the blood cell dies, about 3 months. There's even a test, called a 1C, that measures how much sugar's glued to your blood over that time. Too much sugar means those proteins can't do their job, like delivering oxygen or nutrients. Instead, they clog things up, damage your arteries, and let fluid escape into places like your ankles. It's like a slow leak in a hose. You don't notice the puddle until it's too big to ignore. But it's not just about swelling. High sugar can mess with your sodium and potassium balance too. Where sodium goes, water follows, and if potassium gets trapped, you're left with even more fluid retention. Over time, this can tickle your nerves in a bad way. Think numbness or tingling in your feet. Ever wonder why some folks, even those not officially diabetic, still deal with puffy ankles? It's this sugar-driven cycle creeping up, and Sarah was right there, teetering on the edge before she figured it out. Here's where the good news kicks in. There's a vitamin that can help fix those pumps and get rid of that edema fast. But first, let's talk about the minerals you need alongside it. potassium, and magnesium. Potassium's a big deal. You need about 4,700 milligrams a day to keep things humming. A banana's got around 300 milligrams, so you'd have to eat over 15 bananas daily to hit that mark. Who's got time or a stomach for that? Instead, think creamy avocados, crisp salads, or juicy berries, tasty ways to load up without the sugar overload. Magnesium's the other player, powering something called ATP, your body's energy fuel. You only need about 420 milligrams, and you can snag it from crunchy pumpkin seeds, nutty sunflower seeds, or vibrant leafy greens. Low magnesium might leave you cramping or dragging through the day. Sound familiar? A good electrolyte powder can deliver both potassium and magnesium, but peek at the label to dodge hidden sugars. These minerals get those pumps running again, but they're not the whole story. The real star here is vitamin B1, also called thiamine. Picture a busy factory in your body turning sugar into energy. To move from raw sugar to usable fuel, there's a little enzyme that needs B1 to flip the switch. Without enough B1, that sugar just sits there, piling up and stressing your system. Where does B1 go? It gets burned up fast when you eat refined carbs. Think cookies, pasta, or that morning bagel. Your body dips into its reserves, pulling B1 from tissues until there's none left to spare. Sarah learned this the hard way. She loved her carbs. Pasta nights were her jam, but her ankles paid the price. When B1 runs low, it's not just about swelling, it's about protection. B1 acts like a shield, keeping sugar from gluing to proteins and wrecking your circulation. Without it, you might feel tingling or burning in your feet, something called peripheral neuropathy. It's your body waving a flag saying, "Hey, we need help down here." So, how do you bring B1 into your life? It's in foods like pork, sunflower seeds, or even a handful of nuts, but refined carbs strip it away. If you're eating a lot of processed stuff, your B1 stash dwindles fast. Supplements can help too. Just a small dose can recharge those pumps and clear out the fluid. Sarah started adding B1-rich foods and cut back on sugar, and within days, her ankles felt lighter. Could that work for you? What's one sugary habit you could swap out this week? This isn't about perfection. It's about small, doable steps. Pair B1 with potassium and magnesium, and you've got a trio that tackles swelling from the inside out. But here's the kicker. You've got to ease up on the sugar too. Those pumps will hum along beautifully until that next candy bar or soda sneaks in and throws a wrench in things. It's a partnership. You and your body working together. What's your go-to sweet treat, and how might you tweak it to keep the swelling at bay? Think of this as a little adventure. Maybe you try a handful of pumpkin seeds instead of chips, or sip an electrolyte drink instead of juice. Notice how your legs feel after a few days. Lighter? Less puffy? That's the wisdom kicking in, and it's yours to play with. Share your wins in the comments below. What's one change you're excited to try? This isn't just about facts, it's about feeling better in your own skin. Sarah's story didn't end with swollen ankles. Once she dialed in B1 and those minerals, she had more energy, her feet stopped tingling, and she felt like herself again. The fog of fatigue lifted, and she could chase after her kids without that heavy, dragging sensation. You deserve that too. Legs that carry you without complaint, ankles that don't hold you back. It's not magic, it's your body thanking you for listening. Imagine waking up refreshed, your steps light and easy, free from that nagging puffiness. How would it feel to slip into your shoes without that tight, bloated squeeze? Or to enjoy a walk without worrying about swelling creeping in by dusk? It's within reach. Your body's ready to respond. Here's your nudge to start today. Grab some leafy greens, sprinkle in a few seeds, and maybe look into a B1 boost. Cut back on the sugar, just a little at first, and see where it takes you. You're not alone on this. Thousands are watching, learning, and cheering you on. Drop a like if this clicks for you, comment with your next step, and subscribe to stay in the loop. Share this with someone who loves lighter legs too. Let's build a community that thrives together. This is your moment. Swelling doesn't have to stick around, and you've got to know how to send it packing. Take that first step. Your legs will thank you, and so will the folks you inspire along the way. Let's keep this journey rolling together.